Well, my project today is to try and capture this magnificent scene in my little village where I live, and I call this the beach, the Felmersham Beach. But as you can see, a couple of ladies sitting here with their chairs in the water and their feet dangling in the water, and we have this canoe with this little dog on, just taking in the scene, and a couple of other people here. But also I'm getting this lovely yellow meadow over here, and then the sky, and it's nicely framed. We've got some trees coming across here. I can see that. I'm not getting out of focus. So I've got some contrasts. I've got some dark here. This helps frame the picture, and some green on the bottom here, some foreground interest. So I want to get these reeds and this lovely sort of spring lemony yellow there across that little bit of weed there. I've got these darker colours and the reflections and the dappled light on this little landing area here, or launching slab of concrete there with a dappled light on it. So I'm going to have a go at that today, and you will see I have, let's see if you can see that, I've sketched it out. Looks like it's a little bit bleached out. I wonder if I tip it up a little bit, bring it closer. Can you see that? I've got the people sitting in the water there, and mapped out my general area of cover. So let's get on with that. I think I'm going to get straight in and put a little bit of colour in for the sky. So it's a fairly, well, it's obviously a summery day. So I think I'm going to have a nice cerulean blue, which is, I'll hold this up so you can capture this. This one here, that's cerulean. So a nice light colour, nice blue anyway. I've got various blues here. I've got cobalt blue there and Mediterranean blue over here. But I think I want to go with the cerulean. I might put a drop of cadmium in here to give us a little bit more colour perhaps. But anyway, let me make a puddle up. Make a nice little puddle to get us going. The question is, there wasn't any cloud in the sky actually. So should I put some on or not? I don't want to detract from my main interest here, but well, let's see how it goes anyway. Let's just put in a gentle wash here. Come right down to the tree line there. So let's just leave that. I'm going to fiddle with it. Got the easel tilted a little bit, so I've got gravity helping me with that run. I think I'll just leave it at that for the moment. And then perhaps I should, well, I could start to put some greens in here. We've got lots of different greens to choose from. So I think I'm going to go with get this reed colour in first of all. It's fairly dark actually. Let's put, make sure I've got some ultramarine in it. That always darkens up your greens. sort of slightly bluier green. This bit of sap, I'll go with that. Right, let's just put a gentle wash in there, and then I can drop different greens in as I go. Use the wet on wet technique, where I put wet paint into another wet area and it bleeds in, gives you the diffused colours. And also out here I have a little bit yellower greens. A little bit out there, close to the tree line. I won't put the tree line in exactly because it's still a bit wet there. I can do that. I need to make this a little bit yellower actually, because it's I want to get it warm. Yes, I think that's more what we need. I think I'll put a bit of yellow ochre in it as well. Right, that's a bit better. Got to vary the greens. It's quite tricky to cope with them. Greens are the most difficult, really, because they come in so many varieties, depending on the season and the plants. And get a little, try a little bit of hooker's green here, which you don't use on its own. It's a bit severe, but I think we could drop a bit in now. It's still a bit wet, but we get some diffused colours. I got this little bank or reeds here, so it's a bit drier. I'll put in some sort of more bluier colour. And I need to darken up this a little bit more on the tree line. So I'll put a bit of Viridian in there. There we go. And along this water's edge, you have some really vivid green weed. I sort of get this on my pond, my garden. Unwanted, but there it is. That's what we get. Right, we do that. And also get, let's put a bit of more yellowy ochre in here. Yes, I think we need something in there. Stubble. Okay, then I need a darker green here where we've got some shadows off of this. So I'm going to have a dark green, some hookers, a little bit of ultramarine. I think I'm going to put a little bit of umber with it as well. Yes, that should give us a darkish green to give this yes, we need to do that. It's reflecting this bank, which I'll darken up a little bit. It's a little bit drier, but I just want to get this in. I've got the approximate colour. In fact, I'm going to bring it around our two bathers here. I'm kind of careful not to go over them. I'm using a mop brush here. This is a Daleroni number 6. Sort of a bit of a squirrel brush, really. It's not really squirrels, but they call it a squirrel brush or a mop brush sometimes. And got to keep the reflection a little bit narrower here to help with our perspective. Here we are. And should I put some of those trees in now? This tree line here. It's not going to bleed in, is it, too much? To vary the colours. And get a soft outline to these tree line. I want to leave some gaps for the distant sky to show through. Yes, I think I want to bring it down to the meadow. Right, let's leave that for the moment. And in here, I've got a mass of grass. There's a little triangle of grass here, which all these summer bathers like to picnic on. All the wild swimmers get out there in their paddle boards sometimes. Put some other colours in there when it's a little bit drier. This can be just our background, just a gentle wash, and also on this left hand corner I've got quite a block of really quite dark colour, so I'm going to use some umber, raw sienna, just make darkish shape really, or put a bit of Payne's grey with it. I want to have this fairly dark here. It's in the shadow. The sun is coming from left to right, so this is a big shadowy area. Let's give it a little bit of green. We can see it. Going to vary the colours as I go. I'll put some raw sienna along there, a bit of green in it, and this bit of concrete here. Let's get a bit of ochre in there. Paint around their shoes. Their white sandals there, so try and preserve that white. In watercolour, of course, you try and use the white of the paper to give you that luminous colour, luminous light that you get in watercolour, which is half of its appeal. Right, how are we doing? And now I think is probably our time to get some of the water in. That colour is a sort of bit of walling here, bit of stone wall. The edge of it there. I'll leave that for a moment. We can tighten up on these things as we go. On the tops of these reeds, a little bit of colour. Let's use a bit of artistic license. We put a bit of purple there. They were on top of these reeds. Let's darken up a little bit. There's quite a wall of reeds here, all coming down to this bright yellow pond or river weed or whatever it is. That goes all right up to here. I think we'll make it a little bluer. quite dark. Comes all the way through actually here. Try and vary the different colours. Keep it interesting. And it goes actually right up here. Right. Now let us, perhaps I should put in the, I've got a fairly darkish colour, darkish green. Let's get some of that tree that's coming into our frame here. Right, and it's darker in here, so a bit of Hooker's green, bit of burnt umber. Let's darken it up a little bit. Yes, that will help us, I think. Bit of Payne's grey. Sort of, I think this needs to be darker still. Now I think it's time to put in some of the watercolour. So how do I do that? It reflects the sky, so it's fairly, I think it's a sort of bit darker here. Try to paint round our two ladies sitting there, having a good natter, no doubt. Right, that's, I think we could still have a little bit darker. What colour is it? Yes, I think you need to have that. Sweep that in a little bit there. I'll put some darker shadow in a minute. And there. And here I'll put some shadow on that little canoe. We'll do that in a minute. I'll soften up this edge a little bit. Get rid of a bit of white there. Soften that. Don't want a sharp edge there. Just blend it over a little bit. Then I think we ought to put a hint at some blue in that remaining white, because it's going to reflect the sky. So we've got the same mixture of cerulean blue, just leave a little bit of few bits. To reflect some of the sparkle that we've got off the cloud there. Let's go with that, I think. Right, that's not so bad there. Something to reflect what we got. And we need to get some dappled colour in here too. A nice shadow colour. Now this is a little drier, so I'm going to get a bit of blue and a little bit of crimson alizarin, I should say, and that will give me a nice dappled light, little shadowy colour. So let's add a little bit of violet to it, just to exaggerate it a little bit, step up our reflection of this tree here coming down. So this dappled light right out here, sunshine leaving some areas for us, and the shadow comes right up here under their chairs. A good splodge here. Reflecting the foliage. We have some odd darker bits, so we'll try and make these edges match up or to join up with these darker masks that I have here. We could step up the, I think if I squint my eyes a little bit, I notice that I don't really have this massive tree here quite dark enough, so I think I've got to do something about that. So a little bit more Hooker's green, and I think I'll put some burnt umber in that. A little bit of ultramarine, touch of Payne's grey. Yes, it's not dark enough by a shot or two there. I want to leave some of the sky holes as well. Put that in front and it will help it recede into the darker areas. Recede there. Pushes. Gives a sense of perspective, aerial perspective, they call it, or atmospheric. I'm going to use this colour to put a darker edge of trees in front of this. This tone is darker than the one in the back. This one here is a bit lighter. So again, that will push the tree line. Keep a fairly straight edge there to that tree line. I think I'm going to push that one up a little bit. Vary a little bit. I think I'll put a bit of yellow ochre there with some of them. Try and give some tonal variety. We'll go to a smaller brush for the moment. Just put a little variety there. Right, let's get some, change the green up again. Different there. Put something a bit darker in this mass. It's all looking a bit samey there. But I've got to keep a fairly straight edge there, this tree line here. This is a nature reserve over here, which is pretty dense woodland. Right. Now I think I'm going to use this brush to help me define some of these reeds here. Quite a lump of reeds coming down to this green. This one is a Daleroni Aquafine 4, number 4 round. These are lovely brushes. And this needs to be a bit darker as well to reflect these reeds. Let's give a bit of a broken edge here to reflect this mass of reeds we have here. I still need to make this darker to contrast with that light yellowy green there. So we need to make sure we've got that. Let's vary the colours. Let's get some umber, burnt umber with, yes, we've got quite a lot of dark out here. To have a bit of light red to give me slightly browner colour in parts. Right, let's come back then to our I think if I smudge along the bottom here, make it connect a little bit better with the water. Make this edge along here a bit taller. This help it recede to this narrower bit here. So, now let's think. I need a fine brush. Something that will give me some control, some fine reeds on this line. That's what we need, yes. We need something a bit darker, dark green, bluey green. Yes, I think we could do that. Yes, that will do it. Right, and we can use some finer textural things here. Try and show up some of these leaves coming into the odd suggestion of the odd branch. But it was mainly leaves that you see here. And also I could start putting a bit of texture in here. We have a bigger brush to change our background a little bit. Put some ochre in. Some different green. Leave that for a moment. What about some spring green? Got some lemon yellow here. Got some marks of it, definitely brighter streaks of yellow. Do some streaks of grasses sticking out here in a minute. I think I should let it dry a bit though. Some darker bits in here and there. Now, let's think about this for a moment. Break this edge up a bit. A dry brush there. Let's put some on this. See if we can get this boat squared away. Right, it was dark, nice greeny above that. I'm going to put a nice bright green in a moment. Let's just get the basic shape in. And the shadow area as well. I've got some Payne's grey here. quite dark under there. The shadow. I've got to get that little dog there as well. I'm going to do that in a minute. But let's get some dark in here first. All under there. Yes, it was pretty dark. And while I've got this dark, I can do these chairs, these ladies, little camping chairs. Sitting here. Shooting the breeze. I can get their legs, their camping chairs here. One here. Must have been a really good hot day. Don't know what the temperature was. We could do with some now. Right. Anyway, that gives us some suggestion, and they have a good shadow area here. Casting a shadow in the water there. Water's edge here. Right. I'm going to leave that like that for the moment. And this lady here, you can mark her out a little bit there. Let's see. Right, let's do the shadow internal bit of that boat. Okay, let's leave that for the moment. Then we add some more shadow on this bit of almost dry stone walling. Try and give some texture to that. This slipway, quite dark. And our figure here. They have very cool, some orangey red jeans on. So let's see if I can conjure up a little of orange, put a bit of cadmium red with it, see what we get. A bit more redder than that. Yes, I think we could do that. Maybe a bit more red. Yes, it was here. Red shorts. And a little bit darker reflection Make it a little bit yellowy. Red, let's get a bit more clean red. Reflecting that. Then while I've got sort of reddy orangey colour, perhaps I can hint at a little bit of skin tone there. And, when it's drier, I could put some detail in, I think. Oh yes, Our Lady here, let's give her some colour there. Shoulders there. And what shall we put her in? Let's put her in something in a bit of a light blue. Let's give her a light blue dress of some sort. And the other lady, what should we give her? What I haven't done. We've got to give her some colour there. She's got her legs in the water there. This lady some brown hair perhaps. And this lady, should we leave her with white hair perhaps? Yes, we could do that. Just give a little bit of colour there. More on her hand there. I need to come around our dog now, bring some water up, some watercolour to help define our dog. Negative painting around our figures. A little bit there. I think our shadow needs to be darker too. So let's go back to that. Bit of red, some blue. A little redder, make it a bit of purpley. Yes, I need to bring out this a little bit more. Let's put some more shadow under here. And let's get another colour, a nice yellowy green. Let's clean up my lemon yellow a bit. Contaminate a little bit with my greens. Just have to wash it off a little. See if I can, yes, that'll come in a bit. That'll work. Yes. There we go. One little canoe. Now the dog. Oh, I noticed this dog. He had a cute little red jacket on. But he's enjoying himself out here. Is that dry now? Oh, perhaps I'm going to let that dry off a little bit. Before I put his jacket, it might bleed into the water. I think what I need to do now, I need a very, how fine is this brush? Yes, I need a small brush so I can finish doing these figures. Let's have a closer look. This lady had a top on. I think it was certainly a darker colour. She did as well. Oh yes, that's what we need. She was standing up to her waist almost in that water. Right. can raise up the green a little bit. I need to put a different green, band of different green in there. Let's see what we can get. Oh. Yes, that might. Let's raise this up a little bit. Sweep some green in here. Comes up here too a little bit. Trying to create some interest so by varying green and texture. Also some lovely purple flowers in here actually. Poking their heads up here. Yes, we can do that in a minute with a finer brush. We'll put some stalks on this. Let's just get these flowers in for the moment. A fine brush here. I'm trying to create some suggestion of foliage. Grasses, all long grasses here. If I could find this lady's hair as well, let's make her blonde. So we can give some contrast there. Right. that time we went back to our dog, I think. Let's give him his red jacket. There it is. One red jacket. And I'm not sure what dog he was. He looks like, not sure. Not sure, can't tell. It's a bit too big for a Jack Russell, I think. There you go, he's certainly enjoying his day out at the beach. So I better give some more definition to this lady's head, I think. She's inevitably looking at her iPhone, I think. Right, let's colour. I'm going to give this. Oh yes, this lady had a bit of pink on. Let's give her some. Oh, is that not pink enough? Hold on. She's wearing something pink, I think. There you go. Now, let me think, how can I need to break up this edge a little bit? No, that's not working. I think I need to darken up here too. There's not enough shadow cast from these reeds. Now, let me think. I think this is a bit more yellow, I think. appreciate some suggestion of the stones, the end of an old card or credit card. So can we do that if it's done at the right time? Let me think. I need to define perhaps our boat a little bit. I want to put some seats in, I think. So I'll get a little bit of Chinese white, I think. Get a fairly stiff mixture. Could give these people a bit of highlight as well. My shoulders, but let's get some seats in there. In our boat. Got another one here, I think. There we go. Give some further definition to it, like that. And I think I need a little darker blue just on this underside here. So let's get a bit of ultramarine. Drop a little bit of green in it. I think we could safely add a bit darker here. Now they left their Crocs out there. I think in my reference picture they're white, but we're not going to see them against this tangle down there. So what colour should we give them? Should we give them some yellow Crocs? Yep, this lady's got yellow Crocs. There. And the other one, we'll give them some dark blue ones, I think. Well, where do we go from here? I could go on doing lots of fine detail. So the question is, when should I stop? Same issue, of course, you've got to be careful not to overwork your paintings. You've got to do enough to take you somewhere which brings it to the stage where you say you can live with that, you're happy with that. So I'm getting close there, but I think it's fine judgment really. But I'm just trying to capture this lovely scene in the summer. And I saw these two ladies with their feet in the water, enjoying themselves. So keep reviewing my reference, and I can see I perhaps can make this a little darker. My shadow area. You've got to get light and dark. It's very important with watercolour. Particularly important with watercolour. It's what makes it work actually, the lights and darks. I think I need I'm looking at my tree line a little bit closer now, and I can see I need to darken it up in places. Some of it's casting shadow from these trees here. Darker there. And again, we've still got to get our darks. I can see some suggestion of, oh, that's far too dark. Some branches coming down this way, so we can just kind of hint at them. I say lots of, I need this dark to contrast with this light. I'm just noticing, I think I could put a bit more dark shadow on that lady's head there and shoulders. Dark edge along here. Closer you look, the more you see. But you don't want to put everything in. You could go on and on doing endlessly, but you leave a little for the viewer to fill in with their own eyes. If you can make enough suggestion, the viewer will do the rest. But it's at what point do you say, yes, I've done enough? So I think I could let's do some more of those purple flowers. It's a fine brush here. I think if I get a little bit of Chinese white, I can make them stand out a little more in places. Ah, yes. You see, it's all about the contrast unless I have a light against the dark, you can't see it. So if I put a dark thing onto the onto a dark passage, you don't see it. So I've got to kind of vary it. Let's get some more texture down here. Let's put a few different, let's put some yellows in, because there were some grasses there. All sorts of lovely wildflowers. That's a bit too severe. Let's get some purples going in over there too. Actually, just over here, there was some lovely purpley reeds. So I can streak those in perhaps. Sort of reed bank. Yes, there was quite a lot there. That's working there. And at the bottom, in this bit of sunlight, we could put in some, we could put a hint of some whites, because it's just catching the light a little bit there. Like that. That's it. I'll put a bit of yellow in there as well. Yellowy. That weed. Some bright greeny. To it. Actually, I think we ought to bring that out a little more. Why not? We've got our contrast there. I'm looking at my reference picture and it's definitely there. So I can bring it out a little bit more here. Let's make sure I've got a nice edge, straight edge along there. We can do that. Well, I've finished the painting now, and on reviewing it, I think I've managed to maintain some degree of lightness, and this paving here is warmer with a little bit of ochre and yellow there. And I've redefined a little bit our figures there, and these two ladies enjoying the summer scene there. And the dog is certainly enjoying himself. I've added a little bit of shadow to the far tree line, just along here. This tree line is casting shadows, so I've extended that a little bit more there, and I've done quite a bit of work on the foreground here with some drier paint. Not quite so wet, but can also put a few fine lines in to emphasize this, give it some texture. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you'd like to see more of this, just touch the like button, give me the thumbs up, and hit the subscribe button, and then when I put a video up onto YouTube, you'll be notified immediately that it's available. Okay, well, thanks for watching.